Hey friends, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to be working on a 30 by 40 canvas, and I'm going to be doing a colander pour and swirl and tilting off the edges. I'm going to be using a lot of different colors, but they're all going to be complementary. I'm going to be using different shades of red. I'm going to be using some blue and of course some white and some champagne, and we're going to see what we get. But I wanted to make a comment on formulas. I've been watching videos recently on YouTube and people saying, oh, I've got the best formula for this, or I've got the best formula for that. Now, if you've watched me or if you follow me on YouTube, I don't do swipes anymore. I don't do blooms or the, I don't know what to do when you spin it. Maybe that's a bloom. And some of these other ones, they make beautiful, beautiful cells. And I know there's a handful of ingredients that you need to create that. But for me, even when I do pearl pours as well as my dump and swirls, I use 4 ingredients. It's just paint, water, Liquitex pouring medium, and Floetrol. And I use American Floetrol. Now, once I used Australian Floetrol, but I didn't see much of a difference with the type of pours that I do. Now, I know some people claim they work better in other pours, and that's probably true, but I've only used them for my dump and swirls. And I just want you to know too, that you don't have to thin your paints extra thin if you're doing a pearl pour. Now, I did a bunch of them last year, and I just used Artist Loft Soft Body White, and I used Floetrol, a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium, and water. And I showed in some of those videos that the consistency was like honey. I didn't do it really thin like water. Now, years ago, when I started doing pearl pours, I was using all the ingredients, GAC, satin enamel, house paint, Liquitex pouring medium, Artist Loft Soft Body White, water, etc., with just like one color. And that's a lot of ingredients, and it costs a lot of money. So, with a lot of practice and a lot of patience, I've just used those 4 ingredients, and they seem to work for both the pearl pour as well as the dump and swirl. Now, for the dump and swirl, the paints have to be a little bit thinner because I want them to move more on the canvas, and I use larger canvases for my dump and swirls because I think the more you stretch it, the black paint that I use as the dump tends to sink. Now, for the colors that I typically use 1 part paint, 2 to 3 parts Floetrol, drizzle Liquitex pouring medium, and water to thin. But for my dump paint, I use less black paint, and I use about 4 to 5 parts Floetrol, drizzle Liquitex pouring medium, water, and then of course Artist Loft Soft Body Black. So anyway, I just want to say a few things about that. And I made these conclusions based on my own experience. I'm just taking responsibility for what I've done and what works for me. I'm not saying that it works across the board for all the other pours, but you can experiment. And I would challenge you to try to see if you can create some sort of cells across the board. Now remember, back in the day when Melly D was doing her pours, she was not using Floetrol. It was just paint, water, and Liquitex pouring medium, and she had great reactions with the cells. But she was primarily using Deco Arts Americana brand paints, so those work really well. Okay, enough blabbing here. I'm going to mix my paints. I will show you the colors that I use. We'll get started here in just a moment. Hey guys, I'm back in my studio with all of these mixed paints. The first thing I'm going to say is I have no idea which order I'm going to pour, except I'm going to put some blue and white on the bottom. So I'll start down here. This is Artist Loft Soft Body White with a little bit of Gotta Deal White in it. And this is Gotta Deal Blue. Now this is a lighter blue with Artist Loft Soft Body White in it. Champagne, Raw Sienna, Champagne, Rose Gold, Scarlet, Ruby Red. And then this is some white, silver, and some light blue. Now I'm going to be using my colander, as you can see over there. Again, my mess because I strained all of my paints. Please make sure you strain your paints to get all the lumps out of them. And then again, there's my black, Artist Loft Soft Body Black. So I'm going to set up, check the final consistencies, and I'll get started and we'll see which order I pick. Hey friends, here we are back to the canvas. My edges and corners are painted. That way the white of the canvas won't come through because my paints are really thin. Now here's my colander. I got it on Amazon. It came in a set of 3, and I tend to use the middle-sized colander. It seems to work the best on most of my canvases. So I wanted to put blue on the bottom so that way it would be more, hopefully, around the center of the negative space when the painting is done. So I start with light, and then I put some dark, and then I put some white on top of that to kind of break that up. So what I'm watching carefully for right now is how much paint is in the colander and when it's going to start to come out the sides, which you'll see in a moment. And I often put red against the blue because it has a nice stark contrast. So as you can see, it's starting to come out the side there. And I did add the champagne color because I wanted to push the red out, but I also wanted to lighten up the paint mixtures there. Again, some of that darker blue on top of that champagne. I didn't want to cover the champagne completely because I wanted some rings with the red. And I believe this is the rose gold here. And at this point, I'm just slowly stacking, and I am trying to figure out what order I want to put the colors. As you can see, some of the red is starting to come out of the colander, and that's what I wanted. I want it to be able to show up in the painting. Again, the white lightens up that brown, and it pushes the paint out. As you can see, another ring of color is coming out of the colander. Now at this point, I'm getting close to the end of my paints. And I added just another layer of the champagne to lighten it up. And see, I think that's the ruby red. And last but not least, I have some blue. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna put some music on for you so you can watch the rest of the video, and then we'll do the dried results. Hey guys, it's Dwight. I am back with the initial wet results. You know, I was actually quite scared when I walked out because I wasn't sure if any of the blue would continue to come in. I saw some of it just through here and up there. So I'm glad I have a bunch of blue, and that cream, actually champagne, and the white came through too. I wasn't expecting that as much. Yeah, look at these cells. Now, remember I said a few minutes ago just about how the difference with what I use with Floetrol and Liquitex pouring medium and just the paint and some water. So the cells are different. They're going to be different than what you have when you do a swipe or if you do a bloom. But they're still cells, or they're still pearls. And I'm happy with how they look. Let me see if I can... There we go. So I'm gonna walk over here. I have light that is gleaming in the window here and also causing wonderful reflection. So yeah. Now, you know, I'm gonna probably go in somewhere through here, maybe clean some of these out. Who knows, I may even dot them with some blue. I'm not really sure yet. We'll have to wait and see how it dries. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Let me walk over here. Sorry, got a lot of spilled paint. So this might be another way of orienting it, primarily because just the way it looks and it's pulling down in that direction. But you know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So I'm gonna let it sit overnight. I don't think it's gonna do anything else. It's gonna pretty much stay as you see it here. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And I hope what I said earlier about paints and mixing paints makes some sense to you. I know sometimes it could be confusing because you hear so many things from so many people. And you know, the last thing I want is to make this more confusing for you. So, you know, I simplify it, I thin paints down, and I move it across a large surface, and this is what you end up getting sometimes. So, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll just say one more thing. I want to show you. Now, in some of my paints, I mixed some Artist Loft Soft Body White. And see, it creates these interesting patterns with the cells all throughout. But not all of them look that way because some of them don't have that color in them. So yeah, so anyway, just an interesting look. Looks pretty busy, but hey, it's a beautiful painting. Lots and lots of color. There are some metallics in there, and I think once it dries and it's varnished, you'll see a beautiful, beautiful painting. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the notes below, or you can email me at dwightporridge@yahoo.com. Or if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please consider. It's free, no obligation for you. It just helps me reach more people. Okay, friends, take care. We'll talk to you soon.